Hello and welcome back to episode 3 of Building in Public with the WorkerBoi channel. So today we're going to be going through a difficult situation, which is that the channel is struggling a bit. I'm smiling, but it's not such a smiling situation I think financially. So let's get into it. Let's discuss what is happening and how it is going. Okay, firstly, what has happened? Well, we launched the channel in January and we got 30,000 subscribers in 1 week. That was great. It looked really good, looked really promising. But ever since then, we've always posted videos, and what happens is we have this line, which I'll show you as a graphic. We have this issue where the video gets pushed, but then it just dies off. And that tells me that new viewers are not watching the video for long enough or clicking the video frequently enough when YouTube recommends it for YouTube to actually care and actually want to promote it to new viewers. So that is an issue. Naturally, we can't deal with that as an issue. So we have been doing some thinking about how we can solve this issue and the deep kind of why analysis of what might be happening here. So I've done a short little bit of text, which I'm going to read out now and share. Okay, so firstly, as you can see on screen here, there is a small graphic which shows you the subscribed and not subscribed viewers. And this indicates how long each type of viewer has been watching. Now, what does this mean? Well, it basically allows us to determine if our videos are appealing to new viewers or if they're just really appealing to current viewers. And this is a really key metric which we use across our channels to know if we are making the videos in a format which is actually going to grow. Because growth can only happen with new viewers, and new viewers are only going to come when YouTube promotes it to them, right? So that is really essential. So this is a really, really key metric which I'm glad to have figured out and looked at. So this is across most of our videos. Most of our videos have this issue. There is one caveat, interestingly, which is the videos Burger Wars and Is Working in Fast Food Hell, these two videos here, these have actually done surprisingly well in terms of this metric. So you'll see they have actually got a 5% difference, not a 10% difference. It's 5% between the subscribed and not subscribed viewers versus 10% on the other videos. So that's a really good indication because it shows that those videos had something about them which actually was better for new viewers. And we think it comes down to brands. So the original channel concept was that we would have workers who were interacting with brands, and we were kind of focused more on the worker characters and how they may evolve as they go through different jobs. That's not really working because that is having the 10% difference between the new viewers and the subscribed viewers. Instead, if we focus on brands like we did with those two videos, then we should get a situation where we have a smaller difference and therefore YouTube is more likely to promote it to new viewers. So it's a really key metric, really interesting, and something to generally be aware of for yourself as well. Okay, so the second point here is that I'd say that I didn't get enough feedback early on. I promoted the channel using Mr. Spherical, which obviously got us to 30,000 subscribers in 1 week. And I definitely could have, maybe in the first 3-4 videos, talked to creative friends more who were in the space, who understood content, ask them for their thoughts on how to improve the content. Because I didn't do that, and it took me about 8 videos to get there. And that meant that the improvements that could have been made between video 3 and video 8, if I had got that feedback, weren't made. And now we're only making those improvements from video 8 onwards, which is mainly around the brand and the character design, the character development. That's kind of the main difference. So these are improvements which I could have made earlier and could have maybe saved $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 making the wrong kind of format videos, but I didn't. So the lesson there is, for me, to be willing to get myself criticized. I think it's very easy to sit in the comfort of seeing views and being like, we're going to get there gradually, instead of saying, this video could improve no matter, in some situation, in some way it can improve. What is that way? And I want to find that. And I think really caring about finding that is really essential, and that's something I used to be very good at, but then it kind of got a bit draining and a bit depressing. So I kind of stopped doing that, but now I think I'm in a good place mentally where I can do that, but not get too down about it when people do criticize. So I think I'm going to work on that. So that's a very interesting one just for everyone to think about, that maybe applying to them as well. Okay, so takeaway 2 is the following, which is not something we made a mistake on yet, but it is a mistake we could easily make, which is the following, and I made this on a previous channel. I must make sure to keep the value proposition consistent between the videos. So what does that mean? Well, if we start a video which has, let's say it's 1 minute in length or 2 minute in length, like an animation short, which is what WorkerBoi is and what Mr. Spherical used to be. And then we change to 20-minute videos. Well, the kind of person who watches a 2-minute video animation is different to who watches a 20-minute video. And to make that switch in format is to actually change the value proposition, what does the viewer get out of this? It changes that because it is a different kind of value. One is short stimulation, the other is maybe an expanded story for 20 minutes. And this is an important point because a lot of channels, like for example where we are now with WorkerBoi, a creator may see that they are not succeeding and they may be questioning, why am I not succeeding? They get a bit frantic about it, which I definitely did with previous channels, I made this mistake. And then they start testing different formats, they test different lengths quite quickly. They test different styles of story, they test different maybe pacing in the video, or change to be more serious compared to be more comedic, or less authentic and more professional, or something like that. And these are big differences. It seems small, but it's really, really big. And this is a really important point, which Daryl Leaves actually in his book talked about, and I've heard him talk about before. He says that for channels that succeed, they need to consistently post in the early stages videos which deliver on the same value proposition. So we're going to test long videos and short videos at the same time. However, we are going to do it and make sure that the value proposition is very, very consistent. We want to make sure that any viewer who watches currently is interested in those longer videos. So for example, we're not going to do 20-minute videos, we'll do 10-minute videos or 8-minute videos. And that's a smaller difference compared to 2 minutes to 20 minutes. And that's really important. So we're going to do that. I think that will help. And the really good news here is that we do have 2 sponsors, $3,500 each, which allows us to essentially test these long videos. And if they don't work, the sponsor is paid for the production. If they do work, then we have a great situation where we've got a potentially working format. And this leads me on to the next takeaway. So CTR is the metric that YouTube use to tell us how many people clicked on the video based on how many people saw the thumbnail. Now that is a key metric. The other key metric is average view duration. So how long did the viewer actually watch the video, either as a percentage or as a fixed figure, after they clicked on the video. And this not only includes the video itself that they watched, but also did that video, when the viewer clicked on it, did that video help the viewer go into a rabbit hole of watching more and more content? If it did, that means that YouTube, out of the entire session that the viewers watched, let's say in one day, the YouTubers made more money because they put more ads in front of viewers. So it's really important. Now, what's really interesting here is that for long videos, we have CTR and AVD. These are 2 key metrics for all kinds of videos. But for long videos, if we have a longer average view duration, then based on YouTube's formula, which is roughly CTR times AVD, they use this kind of combination to determine if a video is good to promote or not. Based on that combination, a longer video means that we can have a lower CTR, or let's say we can have the same CTR, so we keep making the same kind of thumbnails, but the thumbnail doesn't need to be as good to get promoted. So let's say our current thumbnail has a 9% CTR and the YouTube promotes the video to about 50,000 views. Okay, that's scenario 1. Scenario 2, the video again has a 9% CTR. However, the video is 3 times the length. So that means that YouTube got much more watch time out of that. And again, the CTR is actually in better standing because it's a long video. So if we do long videos, which we are going to do, then it's quite possible that YouTube may not like our short videos because the CTR is not high enough and the AVP isn't high enough. But as soon as it's a long video, the CTR could be the same, but YouTube gets more out of that viewer in terms of session time, money, etc. And therefore it's willing to promote that video instead of 50,000 views, 250,000 views, 500,000 views, etc. And it can be a really big difference with a really small difference in just changing the length. So that's really important, and that's something definitely to factor is if you're not having success with your particular format or style, keep the same value proposition, otherwise you'll lose your viewers and screw up your channel. But if you keep the same value prop and you extend the format, then you may have more success in views, assuming you can keep that retention and people will enjoy the longer videos. Okay, so the next point is relating to budget. So we're currently at $14,000, or just a bit over that, in spend for the channel. We produced 7 videos so far, which has not made very many. That's over $2,000 per video, and these are videos which are already like 2 minutes in length, which means that we've essentially spent around $1,000 per minute. Now, that is because we have writing costs, directing costs, VO costs, sound design costs, animation costs, etc. And that's obviously a lot of money. Fortunately, the other channels, Mr. Spherical, Solar Balls, etc. that I have, they do produce a lot of money in sponsors, so I can definitely maintain this if I want to. But I need to be smart about this because the team is great for the most part, and therefore that is talent which can be put onto a different opportunity or different channel if I do see a better idea. And that's an important thing, is that it's very easy to get stuck in one particular channel, trying to make it work without realizing, you know what, this channel idea may be good, but if it's not great, just leave it. Move on to the next one. That's a really key principle, is to focus on great opportunities. So Warren Buffett, the billionaire investor, he has this interesting quote which relates very well. He says, invest in businesses where you can have incompetent management, but the business still succeeds, compared to a business where you need to have a really good CEO, a really good manager, a managerial kind of executive suite. And that's only then can it succeed. So basically the idea is, if you're going to invest in a business which is so good that you can have a crap leadership team and it still works. And the same idea kind of applies with channels. Get a really good channel idea that is so good that you are not going to have an issue with it not working out because it's just such a good idea, even if your team is mediocre. So a similar principle applies here. If the channel idea is not fantastic, then it's probably not going to grow. So simple idea, but it's very powerful, and that's why budget matters. So for me, $20,000 is going to be the cap I'm going to put. Originally that was $15,000, but we've kind of gone over that, so I'd say $20,000. Now we're going to make money from the sponsors, so part of the money in the next 2 months is going to be basically covered. We're not totally losing money, we're going to make some money in return. But $20,000, if there's no clear path to profitability at that point, in other words, if we are not generating the views we need to on short videos without sponsors, or if we're not succeeding with sponsors in the long videos, or not getting 250,000 views or more in the long videos, then I'll cancel the channel, because I need to make sure I focus my team, focus my attention, focus my finances on ideas that work. And if this channel idea is not going to work, I move on. Yeah, that's something I learned from Corey Crater at Newscape Studios. He's very good at doing this kind of thinking. All right, that is it. So we will see how the next 2 months go. We will do 2 long videos in the next 2 months, which will be exciting and interesting. We will also improve the content strategy to focus more on brands. We will also do some more curiosity-inducing titles. So for example, maybe the century of war between Pepsi and Coca-Cola, or something fun like that. And we'll see what we get if we can solve the issues that I've addressed. So that is it. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we will speak soon. Ciao.